What is happening at the White House right now is unbelievable. This is pure insanity, folks, and you need to pay attention to where your government is putting its priorities and where it's taking its money from. We're talking about the president literally tearing down a massive part of the White House complex, the East Wing, just to build a giant fancy party hall. You might have seen the pictures. Heavy machinery tearing apart one of the most famous buildings in the world. It looks like a disaster zone, but it's intentional. It's happening right now in Washington, D.C. Here is the deal. The president wants a new grand ballroom. He says the White House needs a bigger place to host state dinners and parties because the current biggest room, the East Room, only holds about 200 people. Presidents often had to host huge events in temporary tents set up outside on the lawn, and the president hates that. He says this new building is an honor and something presidents have dreamed about for over 150 years. So he decided to build one. But to do it, he greenlit the total demolition of the entire East Wing of the White House. This is a huge, shocking move. The East Wing wasn't some minor shack. It was added back in 1942. It was the traditional home base for the First Lady and her entire staff, where major projects that mattered to the American people got done. It housed the visitors' entrance for guests and tourists. And get this, the demolition destroyed the historic White House Family Theater, a private, cozy room used by presidents and their families for over 80 years. Past presidents like Bill Clinton even called that theater the best perk of the White House. Now, gone, bulldozed. The administration initially told everyone back in July that the construction would only be near the existing East Wing and would pay total respect to the original structure without touching it. Less than 3 months later, that entire promise went up in dust and rubble. Administration officials then tried to explain away the huge change, saying the scope and size of the project was always subject to variation as they went along. Now, let's talk about the new building itself. We're not talking about a modest addition. This is a monster structure called the White House State Ballroom. It is planned to be 90,000 square feet. To put that in perspective for you, the original main White House residence is only about 55,000 square feet. That means this new party hall is nearly double the size of the building where the president actually lives and works. It's designed to look like the gilded ballroom at his private club in Florida. The seating capacity is huge. It's been growing since they first announced it. It was first designed to hold 650 people, then they said 900 people, and now the president says it will accommodate 999 guests. That's enough space to hold an inauguration crowd inside if they wanted to. And the cost? It's massive. The price tag has shot up rapidly. Back in February, he floated the idea at about $100 million. By July, the White House said it was about $200 million. Now the official estimated cost is about $300 million. Think about that, a $300 million party room. The administration keeps yelling that this project won't cost American taxpayers a dime because it's funded by private donations, including money from the president himself. This is where the real problem starts. Who exactly are these generous patriots footing the bill for a $300 million party palace? The White House released a list of donors, and it looks like a list of every major corporation and wealthy person who needs a favor from the federal government. We are talking about big tech companies, huge defense contractors, and top names in the crypto world. The donor list includes companies like Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and HP. It includes massive defense contractors like Lockheed Martin. It includes major crypto players like Coinbase, Ripple, and the Winklevoss twins. It even includes Comcast. Look at Google's parent company Alphabet. They are sending $22 million toward the ballroom. Where did that money come from? It came from a legal settlement they reached with the president after he sued his video platform for banning his account. The president gets banned, he sues, and then the parent company pays $22 million to fund his new ballroom. That looks like paying for access. That looks like corruption. These are all companies, big tech, defense firms, crypto exchanges that routinely have massive business before the federal government. Whether it's winning government contracts, getting their mergers approved, or dealing with lawsuits and regulations. Critics are saying this is basically selling the people's house to the highest bidder. This means the president could be accountable to these corporate donors instead of the American people. The president and his administration have said they will disclose the president's own contribution eventually. They also said they will not accept any contributions from foreign sources, but they have not committed to releasing how much each donor is giving. They also said that donors have the option to remain completely anonymous. Wait a minute. Anonymous donations funding a $300 million project at the White House? Think about the leverage that gives someone who is secretly pouring money into the president's personal vanity project. This is a huge ethical red flag. Ethics lawyers say this is a huge problem. They argue this is asking for corruption and selling influence. Beyond the funding mess, the legal process here is totally out of control. The White House and two other major federal buildings, the Supreme Court and the Capitol, are technically exempt from the standard federal law that requires review for projects impacting historic sites. This means they don't have to follow the normal rules that make federal agencies check the impact of construction and get public input. But usually, every president before this one followed a professional standard and voluntarily submitted their plans to the National Capital Planning Commission, which oversees these projects. The president did not do that. Construction started without sign off from the commission. The White House defends this, saying the commission only has power over construction, not demolition. But construction and preservation groups, including architects and preservationists, have asked the administration to stop the work immediately until the proper review process is completed. They say a project this massive needs transparency and public engagement. They are concerned that a 90,000 square foot building is going to completely overshadow and overwhelm the original White House building. The president's allies and administration say that all presidents make changes. And sure, other presidents added things like a bowling alley, a swimming pool, or a basketball court, but experts are saying this is the first time in over 80 years that a president has made such a massive structural change to the exterior appearance of the complex. Demolishing an entire wing is an unprecedented wrecking operation. What we are witnessing is something bigger than just a building project. It's an abuse of power that is literally reshaping the symbol of our democracy, paid for by the very corporate interests that need favors from Washington. They are taking the people's house and remaking it into a massive, privately funded monument. This matters to you because when private companies pay for a government function, they expect something in return. That is how the game is played. And when the president ignores every unwritten rule and tears down history without public oversight, it shows exactly how much he respects the traditions and institutions that are supposed to keep him in check. Let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments. Is this renovation a necessary upgrade or a gold-plated symbol of corruption? Don't forget to like this video if you want more coverage on how money and politics intersect, subscribe to the channel for more financial breakdowns, and ring that bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.